This is show number 738. And today, if she can get on, we have a returning guest, Annetta Rapogel. She just recently went to a real estate mastermind, and she's going to share with us what she learned coming out of that mastermind, going and helping her prepare for 2022 in the real estate market here. So there she is on the picture. So before we get and circle back to Annetta, though, Ruth, what is happening in real estate? Oh, she rotated me to the main room. Yeah, bring yourself back, Ruth.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, let me hide you. And I will do this right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so Vegas is down to 19 days of inventory, everybody. It dipped down this week to about 1,800 single-family homes, and now it's back up to 1,903 because of the listings that we took. But when it got down to 1,800, it scared me a little bit. It got down to 1,870 in the 70s. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it can't keep going down. So anyway, it didn't. It came back up because people were taking listings. And I think, and I'll enjoy your comments on this as well, Max. The feds have announced they're going to raise the interest rates. So people are probably interested in selling their home and buying another one while the interest rates are low. So that would be my tip of the day, everybody. If you're thinking of selling, get a realtor and get your home on the market, because interest rates will go up and it will affect you. It affects you based if you want to maybe increase the size of your house, whether you're downsizing, it doesn't matter. It does affect your payment. And we live in the payment more than we live in the price. And what a great time to sell when the inventory is low, because your house will sell. So there's a lot of moving parts there to help you make that decision. Coincidentally, last January month to date, and this January month to date, the month to date sales and year to date sales are 2,969. We're selling 106 houses a day. Par with last year. So we'll see how it plays out. But it's interesting that even though the prices have gone up, now I'm showing 430,000 as the median price. However, it's chugging along right now to go up to 435 by the end of the month. The median price is going to jump again. So let's get Max back on. Where are you? There you are. Get rid of our stats. Yeah, so that's an interesting twist.
Yeah, 3 less days or 3 or 4. I mean, I remember middle part of winter last year, you said there was like 27 days of inventory. Now there's only 18. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So I mean, the real estate market's going to continue to heat up here for another, like I predicted, probably another 2 years here, given how much liquidity is out there and the fact that inflation, people are trying to get rid of money right now. With inflation running at 7% right now, you don't want to sit in too much cash. So I mean, a lot of investors are picking up property, going into real estate, and it's going to probably do well here. Unfortunately, for the people who, first-time home buyers, we're kind of turning into California just a little bit right now. Hopefully that slows down a little bit, but exciting news, though. I didn't realize this, but the 2022 Pro Bowl, NFL Pro Bowl, is this week. Or actually, they start practice down at the Las Vegas Aviator Stadium. So the Las Vegas ballpark this Wednesday, actually. They're doing the first few rounds of the Pro Bowl. So they're, like the quarterbacks are throwing the distance and the accuracy running. So, I mean, that's doing that. And then 2022 NFL Pro Bowl here is at Allegiant Stadium the week between, not this weekend, but next weekend, right between the Super Bowl. So
I didn't realize that either. That's really
I just read it and I was like, wait a minute. Because I guess if you go down to the Las Vegas ballpark right now, they turned the field into a football field. So
really,
yeah.
Wow. You mean at the Aviator Stadium?
At the Aviator Stadium. So this Tuesday or this Wednesday, apparently they're doing all of the, so there's the big game, the Pro Bowl game, which, has all the athletes play the actual football game, and that's happening at Allegiant. But the individual, I guess, position kind of challenges are happening at the Las Vegas ballpark.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
yeah, I didn't even hear it. I mean, if you want to go check out some NFL players this week on Wednesday,
Wow.
doing stuff like that. I mean, I think tickets should be on sale soon.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good news. I mean, and all the realtors that are watching, that's the good video to do.
Absolutely.
And get it out to your sphere of influence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully with, they used to host the Pro Bowl in Hawaii, but hopefully they're just moving it permanently here to Las Vegas because they call this the fourth island in Hawaii, Las Vegas, the fourth island, something like that.
Something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So interesting what's going on in the Strip. The Wynn bought a piece of land on a man-made island in the United Arab Emirates. Wynn Resorts. It's its newest project. 1,000+ rooms, a high-end mall, restaurants, lounges, and more. And I have a picture here of where it's located. Looks like treacherous territory to me.
Yeah, right. South of Iran and right where I think that's the Bering Strait, right? Is that the Bering Strait? Yeah, the Black Sea's right there.
And they've teamed up with this Marjan and hotel owner Rack Hospitality Holding to build a multi-billion-dollar resort on Al Majar Island. Wow. I was just blown away by that.
There's a lot of money in that part of the world, right? I mean, these sheiks and the oil, conglomerates and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of money. And so, obviously with a higher end resort, I mean, that's what they're trying to attract is that excess money where, they're just going to blow that money. They don't care.
Yeah, and it's going to include meeting and convention space, an exclusive spa, entertainment, and a gaming area. And it's scheduled to be finished in 2026. And, Wynn isn't the first casino to venture to the Middle East, nor is it the only one that owns a big tract of land where it could build a hotel. But getting back to Wynn for just a second, over 4 years ago, it bought that piece of land across the street next to I think it's 38 acres next to the Fashion Show Mall. And it paid $336 million for it. And it still hasn't confirmed what it's going to do with that property. And the long vacant former home of the New Frontier is what that was.
Right.
That's amazing. Anyway, let's see, the Wynn Resorts spokesman, I think his name is Michael Weaver. He said that the company will be the operating partner for the UAE resort, receiving. Oops, where'd you go? I lost you. Where'd Max go? We lost Max. Come back, Max. Technology. Anyway, hopefully Max will come back. So the project's slated to include, like I said, all those things. And it's a 45-minute drive from one of the busiest airports in the world, in Dubai International Airport. And there's 17 new hotels there. Max is coming back. I don't know what happened, Max. Yeah, there's 17. I don't know what happened to you, but welcome back.
B-Live just kicked me out, which was weird.
Yeah, weird. So anyway, what I was saying is there's 17 new hotels that are going to open, by 2024 in that area.
Wow.
And it's a 45-minute drive. I was saying, I don't know if you heard me, from the busiest airport in the world, which is the Dubai International Airport. So that's to me, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching the Wynn stock, but it might be something to buy.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of weird. Yeah, that little island or that little strip of land in the Middle East, where Dubai is, surprisingly has stayed peaceful and uninterrupted. Maybe that's like the what do you call it? The safe zone for that area for people to go to entertain themselves without having to worry about their religious beliefs and ideology. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting because
Yeah.
I mean, Dubai. I mean, they built. I've never been to Dubai, and I'm curious to see the people that are coming back if really that place is. I mean, they have so many skyscrapers there. It's a pretty big city. I wonder if it's all filled though. Who's living there? I mean,
Yeah.
especially with tour. I mean, Dubai was a great tourist place, and with the worldwide travel being kind of shut down a little bit, I wonder how
Yeah.
that's survived during the last 2 years here. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Wynn's
Go
making a
ahead.
big bet though. So,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wynn doesn't make bets like this unless they know that there's some profitability there. So,
Yeah. And they were asked, or the people at Wynn were asked, will there be enough demand for more mega resorts along the Strip? And they said there is an incredible surge in demand for Las Vegas among domestic leisure and gaming
mhm.
customers that they saw in 2021. And they absolutely firmly believe that we will remain a prime global destination for years to come. And yeah, I think he's probably right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was researching here is the tourism. It's up 69.4% from 2020. So, I mean, now I know that was the pandemic, but I mean, people aren't afraid. They're
Yeah,
coming
no.
back. They're coming back. 32 million visitors, for the year. And that's 69.4% more than the 19 million who came in 2020. So 24.2% fewer than the 42 million who came in 2019. But they believe it is going to continue to get to the 40 million mark and eventually overcome that benchmark that was set in 2016, the 42.9 million. That in 2016 was the biggest. I mean, with 2024, we're going to have the Super Bowl. I mean, we'll see what's going to happen here, but the visitor volume was 3 million for the month. That was up 140% from December of 2020.
Hmm.
So that's a big number. Down a little bit from November, and of course down 13% from December of 2019. But 3 million is not bad,
No, and not only that, what they really care about is the bottom line, profitability wise. And the third and fourth quarter were the most profitable quarters in the history of the Las Vegas Strip. I think they're like $3 billion in each quarter in profits. Net wins. That means so I mean,
Yeah,
it's only going to continue to grow here. I mean, Las Vegas. I wish they will start. Some of the hotels need to get revamped, either torn down or revamped. I mean, they need to really modernize. The situation with the Rio needs to change. They need to do
yeah,
something with that area. That
yeah.
would be like I told you last time in the couple of shows. That would be a great area for like another ballpark, like right
Right.
there, like the Oakland A's or something like that, because a lot of space for parking and easy access. It's kind of off strip, and there's multiple ways to get into that property. And
Yeah.
so, we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and for 26 years, Las Vegas has been the top trade show destination in North America, and of course, that kind of was our downfall this year, was the
Hmm.
convention business. But it's counting on, it's still counting on major events to attract people on a regular basis and have them come back. I think probably a lot of companies were just, holding back to see what was going to happen. And CES was
Yeah.
here.
Once
We
the
had,
mask mandates go away, I think that's going to open up more to people. So
yeah,
there's a lot of firms. I mean, a lot of employees don't want to spend all day. If they're going to have a convention here, all day in a mask indoors, it's uncomfortable. For the most part, and
yeah.
so
It's uncomfortable. And then we find out the ones that we've been wearing for 2 years don't work anyway. So,
right. I mean, it's. So I mean, Allegiant Stadium's probably one of the best moves Las Vegas has ever made. I mean, I think that's going to attract a whole bunch of tourism here. I mean, if we have more like soccer games, international soccer games here, like we had the USA against USA against Mexico. I think the exhibition game here, I mean, it filled the stadium. So, that's going to be an attraction that's going to attract a whole bunch of events, a whole bunch of tourism as well, and that will trickle into the gaming aspect of it. But there are parts of the strip that need to be revamped.
Yeah. So Annetta can you call her? I'll send you the number and see. I just sent you her phone number.
Okay.
Yeah. So the convention authority is counting on, all these major events, and the board of directors approved approximately $27 million in investments to bring special events to Las Vegas through June of 2022. That's a big number. And this destination, as the convention authority says, shows no signs of slowing down. So more and more people are, trying to. I sent it to your messenger. So anyway, we're poised to host, like we said, we're poised to host the NFL Pro Bowl at the Allegiant Stadium in February, and the NFL Draft at the iconic areas throughout Las Vegas in April. Las Vegas also will host the Super Bowl, at the Allegiant Stadium, like we said, in 2024. And one of the keys to the city's success is that visitors are finding their way to Las Vegas. Of course they are, right? And that was by a gaming analyst with New York-based J.P. Morgan. So relative to 2019, December's average traffic was 8% higher on all major highways and 12.2% higher at the interstate at Nevada and California border. Total air passengers was 3.87 million, and that was down just 3%. Sequentially, and down 9% versus 2010. So it's not going to take much for Vegas to get back to those 3 million plus visitors a month. And I agree so much that we have to upgrade some of our casinos, but I think they're doing that, and I think they are going to they're talking about getting rid of the Tropicana, just bulldozing it down, and we'll see what they do there. We'll see if they're going to do it. When you live in Vegas here, you hear rumors sometimes, and but they usually become realities. Yeah. Very interesting about Vegas. And I think we live in a city that, if you're a realtor in the real estate business, commercial real estate, whatever business you're in, there's so much information to share with people. And hopefully everybody is doing that, because when Pinky came here, she'll be back here in February for the REMAX conventions. We'll be here. And she said, I wouldn't know what to do with all this material, all this content to do videos about. And and the Chinese New Year. I mean, now normally they do parades in some of the casinos, and they have the music and everybody dressed up. And I guess, this year's the Eye of the Tiger. So they'll probably have a big tiger head, at the head of the dance, I guess they do, which is a parade through the casinos. It's really a lot of fun, and the food is just unbelievable. I like Chinese food, and this is like the place to be for the Chinese New Year. And let's see what else is going on while we wait to see if Annetta went to a mastermind, and so she is definitely got some things to talk to us about today. So it's a little bumpy road today, but that's okay. We can find other things to talk about here. One of the things that we can talk about real quick, let me go find this picture here to show everybody. And we will hide this, but this pertains to what we're talking about too. See if we can't shift this around and put it so you can see it better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Show me. We lost Max for a little while. So let's see if we can't do this. Yeah, there's Max coming back, perhaps. Perhaps he's got her. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Come on. I don't know why that won't go up there. Well, I don't think I can make it go up there. So anyway, we'll look at it like this. The thing about this map that's so incredible is that you can reach 60 million consumers within a day's drive of Las Vegas. And there's such easy access to large California markets and all the nearby ports. And that makes Greater Las Vegas so strategically located, along the Interstate 15, and is within a 5-hour drive of 9% of the nation's population. Wow. I mean, that's huge. And I think when these analysts tell us that Vegas is going to continue to be the center, of the entertainment world and continue to be the capital of the entertainment world, it's because we're so easily accessible. We're a 2-hour flight of 25% of the nation's population. So those statistics, cause our analysts to continue to be pro-Vegas. In fact, the region is less than 1 day's drive from 60 million consumers and 5 major United States ports servicing the Pacific Rim. Are you back?
Yeah, unfortunately, Annetta is not able to get on. We tried a couple of things, okay. so we'll have to reschedule her for next time.
Yeah, I was just telling everybody, I don't know if you were listening, about the access to the market, the labor and consumers. Vegas is like, we can reach 60 million consumers within a day's drive. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's a 2-hour flight. Within 2 hours, 25% of the population can be here. And that's why everybody continues. That's why everybody continues to come here and be bullish on Las Vegas. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have access, like we're almost, if you look at that map that you put in, like Las Vegas is very central to all of that. You can go to, you get 6 hours to Phoenix, 7-8 hours to Salt Lake City, 4 hours to Los Angeles, 6 hours to San Diego. I mean, there's a lot of access, and our airport is fantastic here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of things are happening, and and the state, tax-friendly state. I mean, that's going to continue to attract, more and more Californians here. That's the reason why we have this shortage, because people are realizing just in tax savings, if you make over $400,000 a year, I mean, just a year in tax, I mean, you're like $40,000-$50,000 in tax savings. And that's your mortgage, on a probably $800,000 house, close to $1 million house. Yeah. I mean, so you're literally living for free from what you were paying before. And now with the ability to work remotely here, that's going to open a lot of more doors for that opportunity, more people to come. So,
yeah. And I think, I really think that the next couple months are going to surge in real estate with the announcement of the potential rise in interest rates. And they're set to rise in March. Yeah. And what I read, Max, is that it's going to, they're going to have several little rises between now and December. So it's not just going to be one.
They're anticipating 3 to 4, most likely 3, likely 4, depending on how the first couple of rate hikes does and how the world reacts to it, right? How Wall Street reacts, how does the market react to it? So, but the economy is running very strong right now. I mean, there's several reports here that show that U.S. households right now in the U.S. control about $7 trillion in bank accounts right now in cash. The anticipated amount of money that they were supposed to control was only $5 trillion. So there's a $2 trillion excess in cash sitting at U.S. banks right now. And that's the reason, that's probably the reason why we see people not going back to work, right? I mean, maybe 2 income families are going down to 1 income family because they've been able to save this much money, and the primary earner wages are rising, right? Because of the tight employment market. I just drove by a Budget Suites on Tropicana and like Arville or whatever it is on the south side of the Strip. Opening wage for entry level positions at budget suites, $25 an hour was what they're advertising, on a banner. $25 an hour, man, that's double.
Yeah.
Well, what it was before the pandemic even hit.
Yes. Yeah.
And so,
and I think the other thing, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, this is just my opinion, but I think the other reason why we have so much $7 trillion in cash is people have refinanced and taken, what we go up 18% last year in, equity for people's homes. So they're taking money out of their homes as well. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things. Obvious government stimulus, right, had contributed to it. Rises in wages and the lack of spending, right? I mean, spending kind of slowed down, especially in travel, leisure, hospitality. I mean, that is a big component of, especially people in 50, 60, 70 age range, right? The ones that have money to do that stuff. I mean, they're not doing it the last 2 years, right? Very little of it. So they've been hoarding cash. And, this is why we think the economy is going to probably continue to expand here for at least another 12, possibly 24, maybe even 36 months here.
Well, yeah, I've actually, I listen to a lot of the real estate economists, and they're predicting 3 to 4 years. It's going to, and that's about as far. And they said, that's only because we're not going out on a ledge to 5 years, but but they can see the pent up demand for housing and what's causing that. A lot of it is, people are getting older. The Gen Xers or the millennials are, starting to buy, and the baby boomers. I mean, they're starting to downsize, and so there's a lot of real estate,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the millennial generation is going to turn age 35 and 40 over the next 5 to 10 years here. I mean, which is, their primary kind of nesting years, where they get married, have families, buy a dog.
Right.
Right. And their spending is going to go up, and demand for housing, and old neighborhoods are going to get, revamped and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of activity, and the wealth transfer that's going to happen, from the baby boomers down to the, Generation X and then to the millennials is going to be massive over the next 10, 20 years. So strap in your seatbelts. We're not going to have a 2008 financial crisis where real estate drops 50% again, probably for another 20 years here. I mean, that's my prediction. Yeah. But, could it slow down? Could we level out? Absolutely. Right. And once real estate slows down and the economy slows down enough, I mean, they're not going to continue to raise interest rates, and then the cycle starts all over again, and interest rates will start to go down again. And then here we go, right? Refinance boom, housing boom. I mean, all that's going to happen as long as the fraud isn't there. That's the biggest thing, right? I think that's why the financial crisis collapses. On top of the fraudulent loans that were being made, then Wall Street, exasperated that issue because they started selling derivatives against, these mortgage-backed securities, 10 times over. So, $1 trillion or $1 billion in mortgages ended up being, $6 trillion in derivatives people are betting. And when the whole thing collapsed, I mean, it was a house of cards. We're not seeing that right now. Right. So, but the day stated comes out, I'm selling my home. on the mortgage side,
they do have the bank statement loans.
Which is fine. I mean, you can verify. I mean, that's at least verifying that there's cash flow happening, right? But when you can state how many assets you have, and you can state how much income you have without verifying outside of your job or business. I mean, that looking back, I'm like, we should have all known.
Yes, exactly.
We should have all known when we saw that happen.
Well, we're doing a refinance, and I guess, depending, they either want 12 months of your bank statements or 24.
As the business owner?
They were, because, business owners forget our tax returns.
Right.
We try to write off. I mean, we have a lot of expenses, so we get a lot of write-offs.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, there's a lot of risk, but that's one of the rewards.
Right.
When you own a business.
Absolutely.
Well, Max, I think we're done.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll keep the show short today. We'll reschedule with Annetta next time. I'm interested in finding what she learned through this process and how her
Yes.
2022 is starting off and what her plan is this year. So, what's going on in training this week, Ruth?
We have an ethics class. Let me get rid of all this stuff. Da-da-da-da. We have an ethics class on Thursday from 10 to 1. And that's the only class we have. I just will make one more comment. We had a great reverse mortgage class on Thursday, and it was just amazing what the reverse mortgage industry is doing. Is incredible. And it's such I was telling realtors, in Las Vegas, 30% of our population are retirees,
people. Right?
And it's a great market. They have great products. There's a lot of myths about it. And so we'll probably have Ryan and Susan on again from AHG. That's the Tom Selleck company.
Right.
And because there's some changes, and it's really exciting what people can do. So I don't want to get started because we're wrapping up, but we're going to do that every month is my point. We're going to do one every month, and next month on the 23rd, I believe it is, in February. That's just like next week, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, toward the end of February, we're going to have another reverse mortgage, and we're also going to do a trust. We're going to do a combo. So people learn about, how to utilize a trust to put their assets into. So it's going to be really it's going to be a 3-hour course. So it's not a CE course. It's just something to come and learn more so you earn more is what I always say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more you know, the more of a professional you can become, and that what makes you valuable to the marketplace, right? Because you're going to have to start thinking about these things, and if the way the commissions are changing in the real estate business, and heading down that path, I mean, you got to prove your value and your worth more than ever. Yeah. So get educated, learn all aspects of what people need to go through in order to protect their most prized possession, which is their home. Yeah. So.
We did have a risk reduction class yesterday, and we're getting like 40 to 50. We're getting close to 50. I think the most we've had in class was 60, but then we went down a little bit. Now we're getting back up in the 40s. So a lot of realtors taking advantage of the Zooming for getting their CE class. Fantastic. You don't have to go in person. You can Zoom from your home and still get live classroom credit. So that's something that's really helped us, and the division's going to continue to allow that. So that's super. And that's it for me today. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of January, because next week it will be February already. Yeah. 1 month down in 2022. So.
And go 49ers.
Yes, 49. Wow, yeah. Mark Kahn, unbelievable. They might have a chance here. It could be. I'm hoping for Bengals 49ers.
Yes,
is my hope.
Yes, my husband's a Bengals and I'm a 49er, so that'll be a great Super Bowl.
All right, everybody.